In this video, I'm going to show you a demonstration of the SalesScripter software application. But at the most basic level, what SalesScripter will do, SalesScripter will make it crystal clear what best to say and ask when you're communicating with sales prospects. And one of the main ways that it does that is that it provides a sales playbook, which is a library of sales scripts and email templates, voicemail scripts, questions to ask, and more. And this library of documents will be custom tailored to the product or service that you sell. And the way that it does that, there is an area of SalesScripter called the Sales Message Builder. And so what the Sales Message Builder will do is it'll take you through these steps to identify the most optimum and attention-grabbing things for you to say and ask for the product or service that you sell. And each of these answer boxes here creates a bullet point, and those bullet points then fill in the library of scripts and emails. And I'm going to show you what those look like. But before I do that, I just want to show you one last thing in the Sales Message Builder, which is this area here called Preloaded Messages. So I just showed you how the software takes you through a process by asking you questions about what you sell to create your sales message. The great news is that we've gone through our Sales Message Builder for a lot of commonly sold products or services and answered all of those questions already. For example, we have sales messages for 401k services, accounting, bookkeeping, payroll services, digital marketing, financial advisory services, payroll outsourcing, IT outsourcing. There's also a folder here for insurance-related products, disability income coverage, final expense, health insurance, life insurance, universal life. And the way this works is that these preloaded messages have all of the questions already answered. So let's say that you sell financial advisory services. If you click select here, what the software is going to do is it's going to load up your Sales Message Builder with a sales message for that particular product. And if I just show you what that looks like, all of these steps are already filled in with answers created by us. And actually, we went through these questions with customers of ours that sell these different products or services. So if what you sell happens to be in our preloaded message library, this gives you a huge head start. And you can either grab one of these sales messages and use it exactly as is, or use it as a starting place for you to build on. You can delete some of our answers and add some of your own. But once you have a sales message, then if I skip ahead here to the sales playbook, the way the sales playbook works is that when you create your account, you're loaded up with all of these different documents. And these documents are filled in already about 60% of the way complete. And what happens is the software uses your sales message to fill in the other 40%. And what we can do is we can mix and match those different sets of bullet points to create a variety of different scripts. So here are all these cold call scripts, and these are all very similar, but they use different bullet points to open the calls. So here's a value intro, pain intro, customer example intro, product intro. And in this folder, you also have an appointment script, inbound script, networking script. To show you what one of these looks like, if I start here at the top, this is one of my favorite scripts, the cold call script, opening with your value proposition. And if I just show you what this looks like real quick, if I click View, this is a script that's generated by the software. It's using all of your answers to create a flow of a conversation of a cold call that you could use when cold calling a prospect. Now, this is what we would refer to as more of a document view of your script, a traditional document where you scroll from top to bottom. We also provide what we refer to as your interactive script. And this is that exact same script, but instead of a document that you scroll from top to bottom, this is more of a fixed view with your script being over here on the left side. These are the same sections of that document view, but instead of scrolling, you can click a button to get to the different part of your script. And the logic here is to design something where it's easier and quicker for you to get to the key thing that you want to remind yourself to talk about with your prospects. The other nice thing about this interactive view is that we can actually bring in other documents from the sales playbook. For example, over here on the left side, this is the call script that we've been looking at. But over here on the right side, this is a different document in the sales playbook. This is your objection and frequently asked questions document over here. So if you click one of these buttons, you can see the response that's in the sales playbook for that particular objection. So instead of having different documents that you're flipping between, everything is right here. We also display at the bottom your voicemail scripts. You have 4 different voicemail scripts down here at the bottom. Now, one thing I want to point out real quick is that all of this is fully customizable. So the software generates this script that we're looking at. The software generates these objection responses and these voicemail scripts, but you could certainly customize any of these and make them your own. And it's extremely easy to do that. If you just click on any of these documents and click edit here, you're taken to a page where you can change anything. You could change the name of the document. You can change the name of different sections. You can change what's in certain sections. You can add a section to the script. You can delete sections. And every change you make, you'll see over here. So you can totally make this your own. We have two types of customers that use our software. One category is customers that come to us to use the software to create their script. But certainly we also have customers that come to us that love this interface and this view, but they already have their own script and they use our software and they just replace the content and the script that the software creates with their own script, and it's very easy to do. You also get a full folder of email templates, and these are actually designed to be one-to-one plain text sales prospecting emails. And the way this works, and I'll show you what some of these look like, but if we have in your sales message your benefits, pain points, details about your product, we can mix and match all those points to create a lot of different email templates. For example, just showing you this first one here, here's a cold email using your benefits and value points. And so here's an email template that's generated by the software. It again uses your benefits as the core piece of the email template. The email is designed here to be very lean on word count to minimize the instant delete. Now, as you can see here, we can create a whole variety of different cold emails using your sales message. And what we've done is we've actually created what we refer to as email threads, which is a series of emails that uses all of your different sets of bullet points to create a series of emails. You could use this as a cold email campaign. And if I show you what this looks like real quick, here are 6 emails. This is all generated by the software. So you have your value emails, message 1, pain emails, message 2, customer example, qualify message, product email, last attempt. And so this is an email campaign created by the software. You could use this or any of these emails exactly as is, or what we would recommend is use these as a starting place to build on, to customize, and to make them your own. So a huge head start. Instead of just looking at a blank piece of paper to create an email message, you have a starting place to build on with these. And so this folder here, certainly you have a whole set of cold email messages. You also have some LinkedIn messages, follow-up messages, voicemail follow-up messages, and you can very easily edit any of these emails, add additional emails, make this folder here a repository for your commonly sent emails that you can come to and grab from to minimize how much time you spend typing emails. And the next folder here is voicemail scripts. So the software can create voicemail messages using those different sets of bullet points. So here's a voicemail message that shares the benefits you offer, pain points you fix, some product details, customer example, and to show you one of these real quick, here is a voicemail message you could leave when reaching out to sales prospects. Those are some of the high points of the sales playbook. One last thing that I want to show you before moving on to the next feature is that, I don't know whether you noticed it or not, but every page in the sales playbook has this button here. This button is a drop down that lists out your different sales messages. And you can use this button to flip between your different sales messages. So you might only create one sales message, but our recommendation would be really, regardless what you sell, you should have more than one sales message, maybe a sales message for the different products or services you sell, maybe different sales messages for the different audiences that you're going after or communicating with. And each sales message that you create in the sales message builder actually creates a different sales playbook. In other words, if I change from one sales message to another, I'm going to change over to Sales Simulator, our Sales Simulator sales message. The whole sales playbook just refreshed. So all of these scripts now are filled in with that sales message. So if I go to my interactive script here, now this interactive script is filled in with the Sales Simulator for Businesses sales message. So I have all of my objections for that sales message, the voicemail scripts for that sales message, the different questions to ask. And you can toggle from one sales message to another on any of these pages. So if you call someone and realize that they might fit better with a different service that you sell, you can flip over to that sales message and have those questions ready and up in front of you. And that same button is on the email templates. So you get a set of email templates for each sales message. So a different set of cold email templates here for our Sales Simulator product, a different email thread for Sales Simulator. So it's just something to keep in mind there that yes, the software comes preloaded with a sales playbook, but every time you create a new sales message, you actually get a whole new set of scripts and emails. And that's actually one of the things that SalesScripter does really well, is that if you're using just a set of Microsoft Word documents, it can be difficult to keep all of these questions and emails separate, or if you're keeping it all separate in your head, it can be difficult to get to the right things to say or the right questions to ask. But SalesScripter and our sales message builder and then this dropdown keeps all of those questions and all those points separate and then makes it really easy to access that or flip between them when you're calling or talking to prospects. Another way that SalesScripter helps you to have clarity around what best to say and ask is it provides a tool that you can role play and practice your sales script or your sales pitch with, and that is called Sales Simulator. This is basically an AI version of a prospect. For this, we use a similar technology to what Siri or Alexa uses, and it's basically a library of different questions and responses, and you can practice with this AI version of a prospect in 3 different scenarios. The first one being interacting directly with a prospect.
Hello, this is Mary.
Hey, Mary, it's Michael Halper. How are you?
Doing good.
Good. Hey, are you working with a financial advisor?
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay. Who are you guys working with?
I am not sure I should share that with you.
And you can practice having your call answered by a gatekeeper.
Thank you for calling XYZ. How may I direct your call?
Can you connect me with Mike Thomas, please?
He is not able to take calls right now.
Do you know when would be a better time to reach him?
Can you just send me your info for now?
And you can also role play your objection responses.
What is this in regards to?
Well, the reason for my call is I help businesses to decrease their labor costs.
Okay.
Do you guys currently have an initiative for cost reduction?
I am not sure.
So as you can see, it might not be perfect in every scenario. It is important to know that the AI gets smarter every day. Every day we analyze interactions with users and the AI, and we add more questions and more responses to the library. So every day and every week that goes by, the quality of the role play and the quality of the practice gets better and better. This sales simulator is also able to be accessed in the sales playbook. If you go to any of the sales scripts, they will all have a practice button on the script that if you click practice, it allows you to practice the script you're looking at with the sales simulator.
Hello, this is Mary.
Hey, Mary, it's Michael Halper calling from SalesScripter. Have I caught you in the middle of anything?
Go ahead if you can be quick.
So as you can see, a great tool to use when you open your script right before you're about to make a call. And the next feature here on this left sidebar is called Email Guesser. And the way this tool works is this is a tool that helps you to guess the prospect's email address. And just real quick where this comes from is that in a previous sales role, I had to sell to CFOs, and I could very easily get the name of the CFO from the website or financial reports, but I did not have their email address. And what I would do is I would use different combinations of their first name, last name, and the company website address to try to guess the email address for that individual. And I would send them an email, and the email would bounce back as undeliverable, and then I'd try a different combination. And that process actually works about 80% of the time, but it's a bit clunky and cumbersome. And what we do is we use that same logic here with the email guesser, but we do all the work for you by allowing you to put in someone's first name, last name, and their company website address. And then what the software does is the software runs different combinations of those 3 values and performs a test ping against each of those to show you which combination is a deliverable and valid email address. So this tool actually has transformed our internal prospecting here at SalesScripter. We use LinkedIn a lot to find prospects, and LinkedIn will give you these 3 pieces of information really quickly. So you can go to LinkedIn to find the people to sell to, then run the email guesser. And what this allows you to do is this allows you to skip the whole step of inviting to become connections and then sending messages to the prospect's LinkedIn inbox. With this, you can skip all of that and then get their business email address and then send your cold emails directly to their business email inbox, which is a better place for your email to be. It's an inbox that they spend more time looking at throughout the day. And the next main feature here is the CRM, and this is a full functioning CRM. I'm not going to show you a demo of all the different features because you likely have used other CRMs, and we have all of the same functionality, such as you can import a list of contacts, import a list of accounts, create tasks for yourself, create opportunities, and manage leads through your pipeline. All very standard stuff, and what I want to focus on is how our CRM is different from all the other CRMs that you'll see out there. Now, one main way that our CRM is different is that it actually has a feature feature called Prospect Points. Prospect Points is actually a gamification tool that turns selling into a game, either for yourself or if you have a team of salespeople, it allows them to view selling as a game and compete against each other. The way Prospect Points works is that it creates two sets of points. You have quality points and you have pursuit points. Quality points you can think of as the points for the prospect. This is how interested or uninterested the prospect is in terms of their level of points. And then pursuit points is how much salesperson is pursuing the prospect, how much time and effort the salesperson is spending. So each contact in your CRM will have a chart here with their points, and you can real quickly just look at this chart and see what's going on with this particular prospect in terms of their level of interest and how hard you're pursuing them. This is a demo contact. A lot of prospects will be the inverse of this, where you're emailing them and they're not responding, and the pursuit line is going up and up with very little interest, and that can tell you to move on and find better prospects to spend your valuable time with. Now, these points are automatically generated in a couple ways. For example, when you send emails to prospects, you'll get pursuit points. When your prospect opens your emails, they'll get quality points. When your prospect clicks hyperlinks in your email, they'll get quality points automatically. So as you're emailing prospects, the chart for the prospect will continue to evolve and change. But now you can manually add prospect points to any contact by clicking this button here, Prospect Points. And what this does is this takes you to a page where you can log the interaction you have with that prospect. So you may have called a prospect and you can select what happened. Every time you select something from this pre-built list of most common things that happen in interactions or most common things that you might talk about with someone, every time you select something, that detail is going to get logged as a note. So this is a tool that makes it really efficient to document what's going on with your prospects. And then each item that you select is also going to add or deduct quality points and pursuit points. And then usually after you interact with the prospect in some way, there might be a follow-up task. Maybe you're going to call them and follow up on another day. You can schedule your follow-up call back here. And then if I hit save, what's going to happen is all of that's going to be documented really quickly. All those notes that I selected, all those points are going to be added, and then a follow-up task is going to be created on my task list for this particular prospect. Now, if I skip ahead to our reporting, there's actually a page here for prospect points. And this is a place where you will see your entire organization and you can see how you compare against everybody in terms of the level of interest you're building with quality points and the level of pursuit you're investing in terms of how hard you're working. So this data can be very helpful to a sales manager who has a team of salespeople, maybe a team of virtual salespeople that he or she never sees. And with this data, you can see exactly how hard each rep is working, what they're doing each day, how much interest they're creating with quality points. This data can allow a sales manager to have more clarity over a virtual employee than an employee that is sitting in a cube just next to their office. Now, another way that our CRM is different than most that I've used is that we make it easy for you to manage and view the contacts that you need to see or that you are pursuing. Most of the CRMs that I've worked in, I've ended up with thousands of contacts and it was difficult to see who I should call that particular day. In our CRM, we make it very easy for you to create lists. Think of these as being similar to like playlists on a music device, and then you can very easily add contacts to your lists. So here's some different lists in my account, and to show you how the system makes it easy to show you who to call, if I click on our attended webinars, 4,000 contacts on this list of attended webinars. Now you may say that we should call everybody on this list, all 4,000 people, because they all attended webinars and those are good leads and good prospects. But when you add the data of quality points, you'll see that that's actually not the case. See, here is the list and here are all the contacts, and we actually have a column here for quality points. This shows you all of the quality points for these contacts, and the list is sorted by default according to the contacts with the most quality points. So these are definitely contacts that we should call, and it's very easy to see, okay, well, who should I work on today? But look here, if I go to the last page of this list, you'll actually see there are contacts with 0 quality points. So while these are contacts that attended a webinar and you would think they would be good, these are actually contacts that we should not spend our valuable time pursuing. And it's the quality points from the Pursuit Points gamification tool that tells us to not call these prospects. So not only does SalesScripter make it crystal clear what to say and ask, SalesScripter, if you use our CRM, will also make it crystal clear which prospects to pursue and to try to communicate with. Another feature that is very unique in our CRM is a feature called Prospect Qualifier, which is actually a tool that will help you to qualify your prospects and help you to separate the good prospects from the bad. And the way that it does this is that in the sales playbook, you will have scripts that list out the different questions you should ask for your product or service. And the Prospect Qualifier displays those same questions, your pain questions, current state questions, and all of the questions you load up into your sales message builder are also displayed here. But what is also provided in this area is a notes field for each question, and then also a place for you to add or take away quality points depending on how the prospect answered your question. So the way that we recommend you use this is that have your script in front of you when you're meeting with or talking to prospects, and use that to remind yourself what questions to ask. And I would recommend that when you're talking with a prospect, say on a call, for example, have a pad of paper and a pen and make some quick notes as to how the prospect answers your questions. Then immediately after the call, I would recommend coming to the CRM and pulling up your contact. And then for that contact, you can then come to the prospect qualifier. And here will be all those questions that you might have asked when you were talking with them. And here is a place for you to add your notes. And the really nice thing about this is that when you click save, all of your notes will get added to that contact record. And what we actually do is we actually include the question. And what that allows you to do is it allows you just to use shorthand in terms of notes, and your shorthand notes are going to make complete sense because they're going to be documented next to the question. And that can make it really quick and easy for you to make your notes. And then what you can also do is add quality points or take away quality points. You might even have questions where you just document the answer with the points, because the points alone might give you the information you need to know whether it's a good or bad prospect. And when you hit save, your notes and your points will be added to that contact. And that will help you to qualify your prospects because it will allow you to very easily and quickly see which prospects are good prospects for you to spend your valuable time with and which ones are not. Another feature in our CRM that is very helpful and that you probably will want to use is a feature called email campaigns. What this tool does is it makes it extremely easy to create an email campaign. And what you can do is you can pull in all of the templates from the library in the sales playbook that the software generates and use those to create an email campaign. So I showed you earlier in the sales playbook that we have a email thread, which is a series of emails. I just loaded up this email thread right here to create an email campaign. Of course, you have full editing functionality here to make any changes. You can add additional emails and make this series as long as you want. And if I hit done here, in 2 seconds, I just created an email campaign. And to show you what this looks like, here is that email campaign. And if I were to add contacts to this campaign, they would work through this email campaign going from one email to another according to the designated timing. Now, one last feature that I want to show you here in the CRM is that we do have a phone option, which allows you to basically use this soft phone that's embedded inside the software as your office phone or as your phone for your outbound prospecting. Now, one benefit to this soft phone is that if you're making a lot of calls throughout the day, this certainly uses click to dial functionality, allowing you to click on a contact's phone number and it automatically dials on the soft phone. So it's extremely efficient and extremely fast to make outbound calls. Now, as part of that phone system, we also do have a dialer, which allows you to dial automatically down a list of contacts. And I'm going to demonstrate this just using this list of contacts. These are actually sample contacts of myself. And let's say that this was a long list of 100 contacts that you're going to call for the day. You can sort that list in whatever way you want, and you can start with one contact. And if you click dialer, what will happen?
Thank you for calling Michael Halber.
Is the software will call up that contact. When you hang up, whether you talk to them, left a voicemail, or hung up, when you hit end, it's going to take you to the Prospect Points login interaction page, which you can then document what you did. And once you've made all your notes, then you can click save and resume dialer. And what's going to happen is the system is going to log that note, and then it's going to go down the list to the next contact and call up the next contact. So what the dialer does is it automatically calls the contacts and then pulls up your notes page and then calls the next contact and does that in the most efficient way. The next area I want to show you real quick is the reporting area. And we provide email reports that help you to see exactly what's going on with the emails that you're sending. For example, we have an email performance report that will show you, according to the subject line and the individual emails, which emails are being opened, which emails have links that are being clicked, open rate, click rate, unsubscribes, unsubscribe rate. This data will tell you exactly what's going on with the emails you send and which emails you should either modify, change, or get rid of. We also have email sent, email opened, email clicked reports. And these reports will show you the actual people that are clicking or opening and engaging with your emails. And this is helpful data because these people are potential leads for you. If someone's clicking a link in your email and you can see what link they're clicking on, for example, this contact here is actually clicking on our sales training program, that's a great lead. And so you can use this data to figure out who to call. You can actually add all of these contacts to a particular list and turn that into a list that you use to figure out who to call for yourself, or a list that you give to a lead generation to perform cold calling and appointment setting. The next area of reports is something we refer to as interaction reports. This might be more interesting to you if you're a manager and you have a team of people working for you and working inside the SalesScripter CRM. I mentioned before that SalesScripter will provide you with tremendous visibility into what your salespeople are doing. And the reason why we're able to provide such great visibility is because of our gamification feature called Prospect Points. When your salespeople come to the Prospect Points login interaction page and log the details of what happened on their calls, all of these individual details are going to be stored in a central database for all of the salespeople you have, for all of the calls and meetings that they have. And you can run reports on that data, interaction reports area. This reporting tool actually allows you to run reports on all of those individual checkboxes. It's essentially allowing you to see how many times a particular checkbox was checked, or actually the number of times a particular event or detail happened for either your sales team or for individual salespeople, and you can run reports on that. So you can see how many voicemails a salesperson left, how many times a salesperson had their call blocked by a gatekeeper. You can see how many meetings they held, how many particular objections they reached, how many deals they closed. So again, you could have a salesperson that you've actually never seen in the real world, and you're going to know exactly what that salesperson is doing every single day. There's also an objections report that allows you to see the objections that are coming up for your sales team or for individual salespeople. This data is collected also by the Prospect Points gamification tool, because when you log a call, you can have your salespeople document and log the objections that are coming up on every single call or in every single meeting. That data is then stored in a central database and displayed right here, where you can see the actual objections that are coming up and the percentage that those objections make up out of the total set of objections they're facing. This data here can transform you as a sales manager. Without this data, from my own experience, sales managers commonly ask a question like, what can I do to help you to be successful? When you ask a salesperson that question, you're putting it on the salesperson's shoulders to try to figure out what is preventing them from selling. And if you're asking this to a salesperson, the salesperson might be a more junior person that's possibly not being successful, and you're asking them to tell you what the solution is. With this data tells you what is preventing them from not being successful. This data tells you what objections you need to work on as a sales manager, or actually more accurately, as a sales coach. You can use this to identify which objections to role play with your salespeople. You can use this data to look at what objections are currently in your sales script and that you're preparing your salespeople to be able to respond to. Not only will this data make you a better sales manager and coach, this data will help you to improve how your salespeople perform and help you to improve underperforming salespeople and help you to decrease sales staff turnover. The next area of SalesScripter that I want to show you is a set of recruiting tools. These tools are designed to help you to find and select the right people when you're either doing recruiting or hiring for your own organization. So these are more for a business owner, sales manager, or recruiter. If you're solely in a sales role, there's probably not much here for you. But just to tell you where these tools come from and kind of how they work, when I started my first business, I made a lot of mistakes hiring the wrong people. And when you hire the wrong people, it's extremely costly in terms of all the time being lost that you spend training that person, a lot of money that you invest in that resource. There's a lot of opportunities missed because of not having the right people. And in most cases, there can just be a lot of headaches when you have the wrong people on your team. And so I'm really analytical, and I try to think about what can I do to improve my ability to either select the right people when I'm interviewing or decrease the odds of choosing the wrong person. And what I figured out was that a lot of my mistakes were because I did not ask the right question to learn about a certain detail of the people that I ended up hiring. So similar to being a salesperson, I realized the key to being a good interviewer and hiring the right people is asking the right questions. And since there were characteristics or details about the people that I hired that I missed, I realized that if I would have asked a question about that particular area, I probably would not have hired that person. So what I did was I made a list of all the different characteristics or requirements that I wanted someone to have in order to improve the odds that they would be successful and that they would work for me for a long time. And if I have this list of requirements, for each requirement, I can ask a question or two. And if I have a question for each requirement, then I have an optimum set of interview questions, and then I can ask every person that I interview the same set of questions. And what I would do is I would ask the same questions and I would score the answers to get a numerical score for each person that I interviewed. And what I did is I turned that process into software, and that's what these recruiting tools are. So it all starts with the interview builder. So this is a place for you to build that optimum set of questions for the person you're looking for. So if I click on one of these examples here, inside sales rep, here is that same process that I went through. So step one is identifying the requirements of the person you're looking for. And there's different categories of requirements. There's experience requirements, skills requirements, personality, financial, education details. And not only are we providing an area for you to go through this process, we've already populated a lot of the details here so you can just select from what we've created. So in each of these categories, there's a whole set of different requirements that you might want for your particular position or person that you're hiring. And when you see a particular requirement that you want, you can drag and drop that requirement and you can select from, again, the experience, the skills, maybe there are certain personalities that you're looking for, works independently, and you drag and drop to create a list. And this is basically a picture of the person that would fit best with the job that you're looking to fill. And once you have that list of requirements, then you can progress to the next step, which is to create a list of questions for each requirement. And we've loaded up the system. For each of the requirements, there's already a set of questions composed, and you can go through the requirements that you've picked out, works independently. So here are questions to try to probe to see how the prospect fits in that particular area. And when you complete this process, you end up with an optimum set of interview questions for that particular position. And what we do is we display those questions in the software in a tool called Applicant Qualifier. If you've watched the CRM demo, we showed you a similar tool here called Prospect Qualifier. This is exactly the same, but it's designed for applicants instead of sales prospects. And so what we do here is we display all of the different questions that you've created in your optimum set. So you have your experience questions, skills, personality, financial details. And this is a place for you to document the answers, and you can score the answers and actually attach these notes to the applicant. We give you a place to load up the applicants in this area, similar to the way you can load up contacts in the CRM. But you can document the notes, you can score their answer. And the scoring the answer is really the most important thing here, because once you score all of the questions you ask all of your different applicants, then you have a tool here called Applicant Ranker, which displays the points for each contact in each area. And this data can transform your ability to select and hire the right people. Because without this data, what a typical person might do is, let's say they interview 10 people or 20 people. When you go through that process, you start to forget some of the people that were early in the process, and you end up making your decision on who to hire just based on a gut feeling, what conversation went best, which applicant do you feel best about. You might remember the applicants that you met with most recently as opposed to the first applicants that you interviewed. And that's a flawed process because it creates a tremendous room for error in terms of hiring the wrong people. With this data, you completely resolve all of that, because instead of trying to remember all of those different conversations, you can look from a numerical standpoint how you scored all the different people you talked to and use that data plus your gut instinct to make your decision on who to hire. And this can greatly improve your ability to hire the right people. One area of the recruiting tools I want to show you is an area called Labor Pool. If you click on this, you will see a whole set of different people. These are basically people that have come in through a job board and have applied to sales positions. So let me just tell you the vision for this in the long term is that I want the Labor Pool to be a database of people that have already used the SalesScripter software set and the smart selling sales methodology, either for themselves or for the company they work for or for other SalesScripter customers. And the benefit in you being a SalesScripter customer and hiring salespeople that have already used this tool and methodology is that your onboarding for them can be drastically reduced. And my vision for this is sort of an Uber for sales. Uber did not invent the concept of someone hiring someone else to drive them somewhere. We've been doing that for a very long time. What Uber did is they made that transaction extremely easy. It made it easy for those two people to find each other and to work together very easily. And that's what SalesScripter can do, because if someone knows this tool set and is familiar with our scripts and our objection handling methodology and the questions that we typically ask, someone could go from selling product A for company A and transition very easily to product B and company B by just swapping out the questions and swapping out the objection responses and can hit the ground running. So my vision is that this would be a place where you could come if you need a virtual salesperson or a salesperson on demand or a long-term sales hire. You could come here and view resumes and find someone. The bad news is that this is very early on, and this is a database of people that you can reach out to and view their resume and contact and hire, but a small number of these have experience using the tool and the smart sales system. The recruiting tools also provide a place for you to create job postings. And when you create a job posting using this tool, that job posting is displayed on an external website. And here is where those job postings are posted. They are posted on a website called Work at Home Sales Jobs. And so this is what that job posting would look like. The next area that I want to show you is training resources. And the majority of these pages are training videos that help you with setting up and using SalesScripter. So there's an area of videos for the Sales Message Builder, Sales Playbook, CRM, and Settings videos. And each of these pages basically has a video for the different features or steps that you need to go through to set up your account. But the first page here is called Smart Sales System. I don't know if you've heard the term the Smart Sales System in any of our other videos, but the Smart Sales System is our sales methodology. So everything that I've shown you up until this point has basically been software in the form of SalesScripter and different features of the software. But there is a sales methodology that aligns with this software. And a good example to quickly explain the difference between the two. In the Sales Playbook, we provide you with objection responses. In the Smart Sales System training program, we provide a module on how to respond and get around objections. Now, in order for you to best use the objection responses that the software gives you in the Sales Playbook, you probably want to be familiar with our methodology for how to get around objections. And that is explained here in this module of the Smart Sales System. So this is a full sales training program that takes you through all the steps of creating your sales message, cold calling, cold emailing, dealing with objections, dealing with gatekeepers, closing. And all of these modules are actually videos that are also on YouTube that you can access for free and outside of our software application. But one of the benefits to accessing this inside of the software is that if you have a team of salespeople and you're using SalesScripter to train and manage your salespeople, you might want to have them go through the Smart Sales System training program as part of your new hire onboarding or as part of your corporate sales training. And if you want to do that, it's better to have them come here in SalesScripter instead of going to our YouTube channel, because each module will have a quiz. And these are just 5 questions for each module. They're not too intense. They're basically questions that should be answered if someone watched the full training module and paid attention. And for each person that goes through the training program, we track the modules they've completed, the modules they've passed, and give them a SMART score. And in your account, you will be able to see which employees have gone through the training program and have passed. And the next area that I want to show you is the settings area of SalesScripter. And I'm not going to go through all of these different settings, but I just want to point out a couple main things for you to take away from this video. First of all, there's an area here where you can customize the application. And I've used a lot of CRMs in the past. I personally think we've made it extremely easy for you to customize all of the different pages in SalesScripter. For example, in the CRM, you can customize the contact pages or the account pages. And these are all the fields that are displayed, and you can easily drag and drop these to change the order. You can hide any of the fields that you do not need to get them out of your way. You can easily add custom fields. So if you need to add a field such as number of stores for your particular industry, you could easily add that as an additional field that would show up on either your contacts or your accounts. You can customize the pages that list out your contacts or list out your accounts. You can customize the columns that you see. So maybe there's a column that's really important to you. Let's say, for example, the field of zip code is really important to you and you want to see that for all of your contacts when you're making calls. You could add that as a custom column. Another important thing here is that you can customize the left sidebar here. So there may be pages or features that you don't use at all and you don't want your salespeople to be distracted by. You can easily customize what this left bar shows and what is hidden. It is also extremely easy for you to customize your dashboard. And one last thing I want to talk about is integrations. We integrate with a number of different CRM applications, and you'll find those here. Most of these CRM integrations are one direction, and that is sending data from SalesScripter to these other CRMs. For example, when you have this integration on just about all of these CRM integrations, if you add a new contact in SalesScripter, that information will be sent over to the other CRM. If you add a new note for a call made, an email sent in SalesScripter, that will be sent over through the integration to the other CRM. And the way this is designed and the way most people use this is that most people have a main corporate CRM such as Zoho or Salesforce or Pipedrive. And what they often do is add SalesScripter in addition to that. So using this integration, you can have, for example, some salespeople doing their prospecting in SalesScripter using the SalesScripter CRM and then having that data sent over to the mothership in terms of the main corporate CRM. Now for Salesforce, we actually have two different types of integration. We have the CRM integration, which basically does what I just described. It sends information from the SalesScripter CRM over to the Salesforce CRM. But we also do have another integration point with Salesforce, which is integrating the Sales Playbook. We have an app that you can download through App Exchange, which will display the Sales Playbook inside of Salesforce. So if you're primarily just using the Sales Playbook for you and your salespeople, you can have that playbook displayed inside of Salesforce to where you don't need your salespeople to log into SalesScripter to get scripts or emails. We also integrate with MailChimp. The MailChimp integration in terms of direction actually sends data and information from MailChimp to SalesScripter. The integration with MailChimp is actually bi-directional, so we can pull data and information from MailChimp and also send information from SalesScripter to MailChimp. So the way this works is that if you put your MailChimp API key in here, we bring over data such as emails open, links and emails clicked. We log that data in the CRM for each of those contacts. And the really powerful thing here about this integration is we give quality points for that data. So we'll give 1 point for emails opened, 3 points for emails clicked, and then you can use that data from your MailChimp campaigns to see which prospects are qualified and which prospects you should be reaching out to. It's also extremely easy for you to add contacts that are in your SalesScripter CRM to any MailChimp lists and campaigns that you have. And as a result, sending contacts and data from SalesScripter over to your MailChimp account. That is pretty much it. If you have any questions about SalesScripter, please reach out. We're happy to jump on a call to either answer your questions or provide a more detailed demonstration for any of these features or in any of these areas. Thanks for watching this video, and we look forward to possibly talking to you soon.